Hey folks, it's Greg and Janet with Strange RV Tours. Today we have two very unusual and very cool locations to share with you. And the first one is right here behind us. Okay, we are in Canton, Texas, and we're on Highway 64. And this is Bombshell's Salon and Boutique. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. The first 3 or 4 times I drove by this, all I saw was the name Bombshells up above. And then this sign right here in the window that says Salon. Just driving by, I thought it said Saloon. So I was thinking this is either a topless bar or a adult clothing store. And I was thinking to myself, what in the world is a place like this doing in this small, quiet Texas town? Well, it turns out that it's actually a salon and boutique, and a very nice salon and boutique. But years ago, before this salon and boutique was at this location, there was a hotel here, and it was called the Dixie Hotel, and it has a Texas Historical Commission marker here. Dixie Hotel. On September 2nd, 1915, the Canton Herald announced plans for a new hotel. Its site along the Dixie Highway gave the hotel its name and a prime location to attract travelers and residents. The hotel's square floor plan included 2 full floors with a wraparound gallery porches and dormer windows and a half floor in the attic. Sheriff John Kellis, the owner and contractor, sold the hotel for $2,750 to Mrs. A.R. Mom and her daughter Mamie on October 18, 1916. Mamie became the hotel manager. In 1919, she oversaw construction of a 2-story annex. The Dixie Hotel became known regionally for its lodging and meals. Maggie Bowles and later Arona Maxey and her sister Nanny Hambrick were the renowned cooks. For 85 cents on weekdays or $1 on Sundays, a customer could eat all they wanted. U.S. Senator Lyndon B. Johnson arrived by helicopter to sample some of Arona's good cooking. The Dixie had 2 dining rooms, one for public and one for private. The private room was used by juries during long trials. The hotel was also visited by politicians, businessmen, and such celebrities as Will Rogers, Clyde Barrow, and Bonnie Parker. When the Van oil field drew hundreds of men and women in the 1920s and 30s, the Dixie was always full, and cots were even placed on the porches to accommodate all the people. Pure Oil Company contracted with Miss Mamie for a separate office space and living quarters behind the hotel. Dallas and Fort Worth newspaper articles about the hotel brought motorists to Canton, while residents enjoyed Sunday singing organization meetings and Aggie muster at the Dixie. Miss Mamie operated the hotel until May 5th, 1954, the day she died. The Dixie closed for good that night. Now, if you don't know what Aggie muster is, that's like a memorial for people that went to Texas A&M and passed during the last year. So they have these get-togethers where they'll memorialize the people who died that they went to school with or that they knew, or just the fact that they were Aggie students. So anyhow, but this location, or this building, was not here at the time. It was destroyed or knocked down, and this is the new property that's here. So we've been staying here for several months, and we had no idea that this was a Bonnie and Clyde location. We've been doing a lot of Bonnie and Clyde videos and research, and we came across this online. So anyhow, Janet has some more information on the property, but this was a location where Bonnie and Clyde would stay when they were on the run. And Bonnie and Clyde, their entire time that they were together committing robberies and crimes, was only 2 years and 2 months. It wasn't, you know, I just assumed that, no, they were running around the country for 7, 8 years. No, it was just barely over 2 years that all of this was done. Their first bank robbery was the First National Bank in Lawrence in March of 1932, and their ambush was May 23rd, 1934. in Louisiana. So it was only a couple years that they were actually active and running from the law. But during that time, they were all over the Southwest, constantly running from the authorities. And so they stayed in a lot of hotels and like bed and breakfast, places like that. They would arrive late in the evening, and after it was dark, and then they would leave early the next morning before the crowds were out on the streets. Or they may stay for 3 or 4 days and just stay locked up in their room while they were hiding. So Janet, you've got some information for us?
Well, what I found is when they stayed here, they would play checkers out on the patios. They had the wraparound porch all the way around the building, and a 2-story porch. And Bonnie and Clyde would hang out with some of their friends or associates and play checkers out and cards and drink out on the patio. That's I don't know exactly when, but it had to have been within that time period. I'm sure they really enjoyed staying here and with the food. Now, I heard some stories like this. Mr. Kimbrew would ate here with his wife and left like $100 tip, just because it was that good. So this was probably a great destination for Bonnie and Clyde, because they could eat good too and relax.
To me, this was a stupid location for them to stay at. And I'll tell you the reason why.
Why is that?
I'll show you. That right there is the courthouse. So they were literally staying on a fairly regular basis when they would go through this area at the Dixie Hotel, which was literally not even 50 yards from the courthouse. You would think, I guess it's true, the best way to hide is in plain sight. I don't know how they got away with not getting caught, but isn't that weird? Isn't that strange? So anyhow, this is where the hotel sat, and it's strange driving through Canton and meeting people here in Canton. You never hear anybody talk about the fact that Bonnie and Clyde stayed here.
Right. Which
seems really kind of strange to me, because the people here in Canton love this town. I mean, there's people here that are 85 years old that were born here and are still here to this day, and it's just amazing to me that people don't share that history. We've come across a lot of towns. Where we were in the town of Mineola, and we went into the Heritage Museum, and we told the people there that we were doing a video on Bonnie and Clyde, and we wanted any information that they may have, and we were told there that they discouraged people coming into town because of Bonnie and Clyde.
And why, I don't know. But
that they thought that gave the town a bad name. And I'm thinking to myself, that was 80 years ago. That was 85 years ago.
Yeah.
And to me, Bonnie and Clyde I would put that on a big billboard right in front of the in front of the town as you're coming into town. That would be some reason for somebody to get off the highway to see something.
Yeah, it's a beautiful 2-story building over here. Oil companies were booming. They contracted, like I said, over there. They built 2 more buildings over here. And Maggie Bowles was actually running this place for 40 years. She died in 1954. They tore it down in 1955. That quick. I'm going like a historic, notable building gone in a flash. It's like, why? It was beautiful and historic, but she ran it the whole time. It was built by Dr. Cox and John Kellis, right? But she actually ran the place the entire time after that, after she bought it. And what's weird, the Bowles name is connected to our next stop, you guys. I don't know if they're related, but we're going to another monument for another person. We'll explain the whole thing, but these two might be related, Maggie Bowles and Chief Bowles. Okay, we're going to go see his monument in just a minute, guys. We're out in the booties. It says American Indian Cultural Society Incorporated, AICS. Says right here, no tours, no hunting. This is where Chief Bull's Memorial is. And this is the road we got to drive on, and we had thunderstorms night before last. Let's see if we can get close in the car. Okay guys, we're not going to take the car on down here. I'm hoping we find it down here. Okay, this is scary, but Greg was right. It's down. It's on down, I bet you. Here we go. Park here, marker ahead, down the path. This land is known in Texas history as the second day site of the Battle of the Neches. Each year on or near July 16th, the anniversary date of the battle, we hold memorial ceremonies at the marker on the land. Okay, so July 16th of 2022, they'll have another ceremony. Okay. So, no metal detectors. Man, we ought to do that. Okay, here, your turn.
All right.
Wow, look at this.
On this land, the Texas, Cherokee, and 12 associated Indian tribal bands under the leadership of his massacre by the Texas Rangers and Republic of Texas Army under the direction of President Mirabal Lamar took the lives of many innocent men, women, and children, along with the burning of a Delaware village. The associated Indian tribal bands were Cherokee, Shawnee, Delaware, Kickapoo, Quapaw, Choctaw, Biloxi, Ione, Alabama, Coonshata, Caddo of the Neches, Lake, Metaqua, and possibly other groups. Many now and forever consider this land sacred ground. The spirit of the men, women, and children slain here can still be felt. Their blood and tears forever stain this land. Every year on July 16th, they have a memorial here where they have Indian dancers and drummers, and they do a memorial to the Indians who perished here during the battle. So, July 16th, we need to come back here.
Yeah, I know. It said right here, July 16th, 2022. I want to see that.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
And this is private land.
Yeah.
You're only allowed to be here during daylight hours. After dark, you're considered trespassing.
Ooh. So no camping, y'all. Wow.
You're supposed to follow this path to find the marker.
Okay.
They've got the Bible name engraved in his Cherokee.
Wow.
On stone.
See?
On the path.
Wow.
Somebody left a feather and a headlight.
Yeah.
Got the Biloxi over here.
Wow. I bet people from the tribes, the descendants, come and meet here, and each tribe will go to their rock.
Crazy thing is that the Choctaw Indians fought in this battle. I'm part Choctaw, and I didn't know anything about it.
Yep. Well, you know, your family didn't talk about it too much. There's Shawnee. That was Quapaw. That's neat. Yeah. What's that really sweet aroma? Let me see.
Reminds me of honeysuckle.
Or jasmine. Is that like a... It's this.
Yeah, I'm thinking, are those...
Is that jasmine?
What
is it?
Tiny honeysuckle that hadn't matured yet, no?
No, it's not honeysuckle. It's a tree.
This is the marker. Metaqua.
Wow, you guys. Fighting a battle in the woods. You know they didn't have it all cleared like this. shooting around trees.
Well, that battle occurred probably long before most of these trees were here. It may have been other trees here. Yeah. Choctaw.
The Choctaw.
I walked right past my family's and I didn't even notice it.
There's a little rock here. Can you see, grab the rock? See what it says. Can you read it? Legend something. I see legend.
Legendary. I'm not sure. You can't see it. That is a weird rock, though. No. You know what's really weird about it?
Is it heavy?
No.
It's light.
It's ridiculously light.
It's like lava.
Isn't that strange?
It says done something 2421. Or wow.
That's so light. It's more like a giant bean or an egg. I don't think it's a rock. I think it's some type of a
shell. No.
It looks like.
Is it wood?
No, I don't.
Don't break it.
It's like hollow. That's some kind of a big seed or something.
Isn't that wild?
That's not a rock.
Oh, that's wild. I really do want to come and see the memorial.
I do too.
I want to see them in their dress and what their heritage. It's their heritage.
When we were in Gallup, we were going to watch the Indian dancers, and because of COVID, they didn't have them.
Mm-hmm.
Up here's another marker. Kickapoo. The Kickapoo tribe.
Alabama. Wow.
Ushada?
Neat. Man, that aroma is wonderful. It's these little, I wonder what it is. That's wonderful.
It smells good, doesn't it?
Yeah. And it's not a jasmine though. What is it?
See all the butterflies?
Yeah.
Tahoe Lake. Tahoe Lake.
Okay. Let's see if we can get around this without.
I'm part Indian, but I don't speak the language.
Yeah.
Janet's having me take over because she's got to navigate the mud we're walking through. Here's a marker for the Delaware tribe.
That's real muddy. Yeah.
It's getting a little swampy. There's some of the mementos people have left.
People lost.
Somebody left some chewing gum.
Wow. Oh man.
Yeah, here's a dream catcher. And that's a cool necklace right there.
Yeah, there's some neat stuff here. Look at that.
I leave it.
Look at that necklace.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Walk in beauty. Walk in beauty.
All right, we are standing at the back of the memorial here, so I'm going to walk around to the front so you guys can see it. And then Janet will tell you more about Mr. Bowles and what happened here. On this site, Cherokee Chief Bowles was killed on July 16, 1839, while leading 800 Indians of various tribes in a battle against 500 Texans. The last engagement between Cherokees and the whites in Texas.
Yeah.
Erected by the state of Texas, 1936.
Wow, look at all this stuff.
Give you a good view of it here. That's nice.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Look at all the mementos they left here. There's a bone there. That looks like it could be a human bone, Jan.
Not me. I don't think. Okay, his name was Diwali Bowles. Okay, Chief Diwali Bowles. He's born around 1756 in North Carolina. His mom was Cherokee. His dad was a Scottish trader. And he was described to have light eyes and even have some freckles. So he wasn't the typical Indian look, okay? Apparently, I heard that his dad was killed and he took revenge and murdered his dad's murderers. And then there was this huge earthquake that shook the ground so much it made sinkholes and stuff. And that was a sign from the spirits that they had to move. And they went to Arkansas area. And then he started, getting bands of different tribes together, wanting to have a place just for the Indians to live, to have their own land. And he went to Mexico, the Empire of Mexico, and they wanted to title the land to the Indians in East Texas. They allowed the Indians to come to East Texas. Well, here comes the Republic of Texas wanting to take over the Mexican and, and all the Indians and everybody. And that's how the battle ensued, that he had brought, first it was 60 different Cherokee tribes, and then everybody else started banding together so they have their own land. Well, the Texans ended up having battles with all of them, and this is where Chief Bowles actually died. But he was trying to help all the tribes, not just the Cherokee. But with the Texans taking over the lands and the Indians and shoving the Mexicans out and all that, this is his memorial, and I think it's pretty cool.
Well, and at the time that this battle occurred, Chief Bowles, after he had been killed, they just left his body here to rot in the sun. They didn't bury him. Times were much different back then, and it was really a brutal time to be alive, to tell you the truth, when these battles were occurring. It's sad that they don't know today the exact spot where Chief Bowles died, just that it was right here in this area. Now, this marker sits about 18 miles away from the Dixie Hotel from our first story, and with his last name being Bowles, and the owner of the Dixie Hotel, Maggie, her name was Maggie Bowles, her husband was a Wesley Bowles, we're wondering if Wesley Bowles may not have been a descendant of Chief Bowles.
I don't know. Well, yeah, possibly. Who knows? And it's like, I don't know if it was a common name or not.
Yeah, and we just don't know if Wesley Bowles was Scottish.
Just coincidence. I just realized it when I was reading up about the hotel, that they had the same last name. It's just coincidence, or was that very common? I don't know. And
I can see how this is a very sacred place to the Indians, because this was the last battle between the Cherokees and the whites in Texas.
Yeah.
So this was it. After this, there was no more large battles that took place here. So I can definitely understand how this is a very sacred place.
This is pretty cool, though.
Yeah, it is. And it is a beautiful area. Look at this, guys.
And
people would give their left arm to have a piece of property like this with a house on it, wouldn't they?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, this is gorgeous with the oak trees.
Yeah. Oh, the smell. Could you imagine waking up to the smell of this every day?
Yeah. This is amazing. I wonder what it is. I'm going to ask John.
And it is amazingly peaceful here. All you hear is birds.
And there's lots of bugs, because there's one in your hair.
Yeah, well.
But I don't mind the bugs. I'm okay with bugs.
Well, I don't particularly like them.
But you guys, this is not much to give all the Indians, but It is a memorial.
Yeah, yeah. And this is private land, so if you want to see it, we are just outside of Ben Wheeler, Texas.
In between Ben Wheeler and Tyler.
Yeah.
Right off of 64.
All right, we're gonna leave a memento ourselves here.
I'm gonna leave a penny up here.
Yeah, I will too.
The Indians were just kind of shoved out of the way.
Yeah, they still are.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth, when we were in Gallup, New Mexico, doing Route 66.
The Indians are all put on reservations.
Yeah, yeah. You could just tell. You could just tell when a Indian would come into a restaurant or something that people just didn't associate with them. It was sad. So.
I did all the time in Albuquerque.
You married one.
Yeah. Now I was supposed to be Cherokee also, like 32nd or something like that. My sister had her DNA done. There's no Cherokee. It must have been by marriage or something, but they said, oh yeah, we have Cherokee. It looked like my dad had some of the look. Nuh-uh. There's no blood. Not that they could find. It's not on record, but whatever. Yeah, I mean, I didn't follow the heritage or anything, but I'm learning a lot.
Man, this place down here, it looks like a location for a Clint Eastwood Western movie. This is a creek running through here, and I don't know if you can see on the camera as well as I can, but man, it looks like a swamp. Of course, we did have a heavy rain the other day, and back behind, past the memorial over here on the right where I'm pointing, there's an opening, and it looks like a trail, but it's completely covered in water right now, so I can't tell if it's just a area where water has drained over the years or if it's an actual trail. But I'm just wondering if there's not more of the battlefield somewhere back behind there that we just can't get to because of the water.
Well, you know, they were all through all these trees. You know, this clearing probably wasn't even here.
Yeah, or it was grassland at the time. We don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, these, you know, that was 165 years ago, so
yeah, it might have been a lot clearer.
it may have.
That's what they said about Fort Hood, that those trees weren't there.
Yeah.
And now it's all trees.
Yeah, this could very well have been just grassland.
That's true.
All right, guys, we hope you enjoyed this video here that we did at the Battle of Neches location and also the Dixie Hotel. If you did, you know what to do. Hit all those buttons.
Right.
And check out our Patreon site. And until next time, we'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Strange RV tours will take you places with Greg and Janet's smiling faces. You might see a crazy flavored soda review or some tips to fix your RV too. So come along, won't you join us, friend, as we discover what's around the bend. Just sit right back in your easy chair. Strange RV Tours is on the air. Strange RV Tours is on the air.